Hey, it's Michael J. I just finished reading Errol Flynn's autobiography, My Wicked, Wicked Ways. It was really fascinating. What's neat about it is that it turns out he is as much an adventurer as he is in the movies. Now, I didn't even come to take an interest in Errol Flynn until I was in my 30s, like maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago at the most. I did know Robin Hood from when I was a kid. I'm sure I saw that when I was 12 or so on TV. But somehow Errol Flynn just got past me as one of the great movie stars that he really is. He's absolutely marvelous. I think he's fantastic. I'm a huge fan now. And not just from reading this book. Actually, a decade ago, he was the star of the month on TCM, and they had a documentary about him, and it introduced me to all kinds of films I hadn't seen. So I started watching these films on TCM during the course of this month where he was the star of the month, and they were really great. He's in a lot of swashbuckling things where he's a pirate and there's swords and sailing ships and things and a lot of different period things, but he's also a cowboy in a lot of movies, which is interesting because he has a British accent. He comes from Australia, actually, but his accent doesn't sound Australian. It sounds British. And he didn't lose that. These days, all kinds of great Australian actors come over to Hollywood to make movies, and they put on American accents. So you don't know that they're Australian until they are in an interview or something. And I think that's interesting. Back in the days of Errol Flynn, no, you just kept your accent, and didn't matter if you were in a Western or not, you just had your accent. And they'd sort of explain away his accent by saying he came from Ireland or something and was an immigrant, but to justify it. But he was good in the Westerns and great in the sword play department, really could do it. And so also he was in a lot of war films during World War II, and my favorite is one where he's an air pilot and he's in a sort of dormitory with other pilots, and it's their friendships and their relationships during the devastation of war. And I love that film too. So I'm going to show you a montage of wonderful moments from Errol Flynn movies, but I wanted to give you a few quotes from his book that really struck me. I thought they were great. One is, "The congenital disease of America is that Americans buy success and almost nothing else." That's kind of true. That was a statement from the 1950s, but I was thinking immediately of the Kardashians. I have no idea why these people are on TV, or they keep getting talked about on TV. I do not understand why they're famous. They're just celebrities for celebrity's sake, it seems like, and it's a perfect example of America buying success and almost nothing else, I think. This still applies. He also says, "In the war between the sexes, dollar bills change hands." Well, he was married 3 times, so I'm sure he's referring to alimony, but he was sort of likening to a little bit to prostitution, even if you aren't officially a prostitute. Also, in the theater, the play is the thing. In real life, the thing is the play. "I am convinced of the validity of contradiction. There are many worlds. Each is true at its time in its own fashion." I think that's good. And then this cracked me up about the kinds of parts he had to play and the kinds of lines he had to read. "My problem was to utter lines that are unbecoming to me. A love line like, 'Now my little sparrow, I'll never let you go.' It hurts. I just can't call a woman my little sparrow, not even for money." I love that. He's like, my job is to say ridiculous things, but I can't, there's a line that I cannot cross. No matter how much you pay me, I can't call someone my little sparrow. But the thing is, he did have to say a lot of ye olden time dialogue in these movies, and he does it really, really well. So what other people may not have been able to say the ye olden time dialogue as well as he does. And here's an example right now. Enjoy.
Break out those sails and watch them fill with the wind that's carrying us all to freedom! Welcome to Sherwood, my lady. He split Philip's arrow. The tinker wins, he wins.
I would not have taken that from the king, your father. Much less will I accept it from a king in petticoats.